everybody. How's your summer going so far? Well, we are so happy that you've decided to spend some time with us today. Welcome to our summer reading program. My name is Miss Crystal, and I will be your host today. Now, this program was made possible by the Institute of Museum and Library Services. Through the Florida CARES Act, they funded us with some amazing equipment so that we can give you an amazing program. Our summer reading program is completely aligned, and we have some great activities and events, just like the one you will enjoy today. There are a few things that we ask you to do for us, okay? First thing is, if you don't have your library card, go ahead and get one. It's super easy to get a library card. You can sign up by going to ocls.info/get your card. The second thing we want you to do is to join Beanstack. You can create an account by going to ocls.beanstack.org. And then, thirdly, we'd like for you to register for these amazing virtual events, just like you've done today. Now, this summer, we are challenging you to read for 20 minutes a day. That's it. Just 20 minutes a day. You can do it. And then we ask you to keep track of your minutes by logging them into Beanstack. And you could use a paper tracker if you like. And then you can pick up one of those paper trackers from our branch if you want. So remember, you can go to Beanstack, the website, or you can pick up our paper tracker. We just want you to keep up with those minutes. And remember, just read 20 minutes a day. You can do it. Now, check this out. If you read 300 minutes by July 1st, you can go to any library location and get yourself a goodie bag. The goodie bags are filled with some fun things. I promise you, they are really some great things in those goodie bags. And then after you've read your first 300 minutes, you can continue, you can complete the challenge by reading another 300 minutes of the total of 600 minutes. And then when you get to those 600 minutes, guess what? You will be entered into a grand prize drawing, a drawing for some amazing prizes. I promise you, they're awesome. Give it a try. Now, for more information about our summer reading program and to see events, in our calendar and to check out book recommendations, you can visit our website at ocls.info/SRP. So now, guys, are you ready for an amazing program? I have said amazing a lot of times, haven't I? Well, yes, everything's amazing. So today, we are actually celebrating the sound of music. Don't you just love music? I love music. Music is all around us. We can hear music blaring from our car radio. Sometimes we can hear music from our TVs. We can even hear music from a musical instrument. Do you play musical instruments? Music has a way of stirring up our souls. Sometimes music is so good when we hear it, it just makes us want to dance. Sometimes the music is so soothing that we can just chill out and relax. Isn't that cool? Now, today, we're going to hear some amazing sounds, some amazing music from an instrument that is called the didgeridoo. Isn't that a cool name? Can you say that with me? Didgeridoo. So, I have one question to ask you. Do you want to didgeridoo? Or do you want to didgeridoo? Didgeridoo or didgeridoo? Well, I know what you want to do. You want to didgeridoo. So let's do it together, guys. Keep your eyes on the screen. Put your hands together, guys, and let's welcome Rob Thomas from the Didgeridoo Down Under Show.
Thank you, Miss Crystal. And patrons of the Orange County Library System, prepare yourselves for an awesome show. I would like to welcome you to our very special Didgeridoo Down Under virtual show, hosted by me, your host, Rob Thomas. Can you say, "G'day, mate"? G'day, I am Rob Thomas. I have been making and playing didgeridoos for more than 25 years. I've produced music for numerous film soundtracks, including the IMAX movie Sacred Planet, and I've recorded many projects of didgeridoo music. This is a didgeridoo. These are all didgeridoos. They're wind instruments that originally come from the land down under, where also this flag comes from. I have the Australian flag because my wife and my son were born and raised in Australia. I have the American flag because I love this country with all of our diverse communities. Diversity makes us strong as a nation. Now, you all be kind to each other and do good work because the world needs each and every one of you. Traditional didgeridoos from Australia have been made by the Aboriginal people for at least 1,500 years. Now, today, I'm going to ask that you all be respectful, so everyone remain seated and don't be texting one another. And no matter how tempting it might be, there will be no stage diving over my pet crocodile, Chewy. Particularly you, Miss Crystal. I can see it's in your eyes. On that note, let's get started. I come from a desert land far, far away called Santa Fe, New Mexico. But I used to live way down here in Australia. Now, Australia is located on the other side of the world from Florida, United States. Now, Australia is so far away that in Australia, they're a day ahead of you. So when it's, Tuesday here, it is already Wednesday in Australia. And it's all got to do with the way the Earth is spinning around the sun. Now, every time the Earth spins away from the sun, what happens? It's nighttime, right? And every time the Earth spins toward the sun, it's daytime. Well, it just so happens that the sun hits Australia first. So the Aussies, the Australians, they'll always be ahead of you. It's just the way it is. Now, Australia is so far away that if you all decide to fly there, it's gonna take you about 18 hours one way, not including stops. In fact, Australia is so far away that we have opposite seasons. Now, what that means is when you're celebrating Christmas or some other holiday, freezing your toes off in the cold, in Australia, they're celebrating their Chrissy on the beach. They're eating mangoes and pineapples. They're surfing and Santa's sailing. And that's because we live on opposite sides of the equator. Now, the equator is an invisible line that divides the Earth in half. All of you in the United States live on the continent of North America, which is located above the equator. But Australia is way down here, below the equator, which is why it's known as the land down under. Australia is located in an area of the world that is known as Oceania. And it's called Oceania because that area is mostly covered in, you guessed it, oceans. You know, Australia is an amazing place. Did you know that Australia is the largest island in the world? It is so big that if you was to walk all the way around Australia, you would see more than 10,000 beaches. In fact, it is so large that if you were to visit a new beach every day, it would take you 27 years to visit every beach in Australia. There are 550 national parks and 15 World Heritage listed wonders. The island continent contains snow-capped mountains, salty crusted sea lakes, rolling countrysides, and turquoise seas. There are fascinating creatures, some ferocious, colorful birds, and vibrant fish that swim amongst the largest living organism on planet Earth, the Great Barrier Reef. This is a country where boundaries blur. Ancient rainforests and eucalyptus-covered mountains skirt modern cities, while waterways surge from craggy red earth and the legendary billabongs feed its thirsty interior. And ever since the Battle of La Amela, which took place in France on July 4th, 1918, during the First World War, Australian armed forces have fought alongside American armed forces in every major world conflict for more than 100 years. Recently, firefighters from both Australia and New Zealand flew all the way across the Pacific Ocean to help us fight the wildfires in California and Oregon. And last year, in January, firefighters from the United States flew all the way to Australia to help them fight their unprecedented and devastating bushfires. It's true, we are great allies. It is a country many people consider to be a continent. The largest city is Sydney, and the capital is Canberra. Now, before I play more music, let me teach you guys just a little something about the indigenous or native Australians, the Aboriginal people. Now, the Aboriginal people, they first arrived in Australia many thousands of years ago, and they were the first people to ever make and play my favorite instrument, the didgeridoo. In some parts of Australia, there are Aboriginal people who still practice the ancient ways of tracking, face painting, body painting, cave painting, traditional ceremonies, and walkabout. Oh, and check this out. Check this out, guys. Now, you see these footprints right here? These were found in the ancient dried mud bed of Willandra Lakes, Australia, in Central Australia. They date back 20,000 years. How cool is that? Now, although some Aboriginal people in Australia, they still practice the ancient ways and they speak many different tribal languages, you guys, you could probably have a conversation with any of these people in English, because just about everybody today in Australia speaks English. In fact, in Australia, they do many of the same things y'all do right down there in Florida. Except for this. See this Aboriginal boy here? He's getting a kiss from his baby Joey, his pet kangaroo. You see, Aboriginal people, they respect nature and animals, and so do I. But enough talking. Are you ready for more music? Excellent. All right, guys. So here's what's going to happen, mates. So I'm going to play this funny instrument right here. And I'm also going to play this box drum that I'm sitting on. Now, it's called a cajon, and it originally comes from Peru in South America. But it goes fantastic with the didgeridoo. So I'm also going to play a didgeridoo. Now, You, should you choose to accept this dangerous challenge, are going to play the oldest instrument in the world. Your hands. You can do single claps, double claps, triple claps. I want you all to experiment, have a good time, and let's do our best to keep in time. Okay, why don't we all try a single clap all together? And a double clap. Now a triple clap. Actually, you guys are sounding so good already that I'm going to give all you jazz and hip-hop artists full permission to break out into some polyrhythms. You can do a 3/4, a 7/8, or 23 over 19. That doesn't make any sense. Is that all you've got? Come on, put your body into it and say it like you mean it. Hands! All right. For those of you that chose to accept that dangerous challenge, give yourselves a round of applause. That was awesome. Oh, actually, do you happen to know the Australian call? No? Okay, cool. Well, check it out. If you ever go to Australia, and if you ever have the opportunity to go there, I highly suggest that you do so, because if you go there, you're going to get to see all kinds of cool creatures like these guys behind me, like the stingrays and all the koalas and the kangaroos, so many cool animals. And, if you happen to be out in the Australian bush and you're like chewing on some eucalyptus flowers, or you're walking down the beach, looking for your mates or your friends, this is what you do. You go, no, you don't want to do that, mates. What you want to do if you're looking for your mates is you go, and then your mates go, and then you get really quiet, because in the Australian bush, there's vast or large distances between people. So, for the rest of the show, because of those vast distances, if I need to get your attention, I'm going to go, excellent. Now, there are many mythical stories as to the origins of the didgeridoo. One of my favorites goes something like this. A long time ago, back in the dream time, an Aboriginal man made a fire. Now, he needed a log for that fire, so he went out in the bush, picked up a eucalyptus log, But as he went to place it onto the fire, he noticed that it was hollow. He looked inside and saw all these tiny white ants, or termites. Now, he didn't want to harm those white ants, so he held the log to the sky and blew. The white ants flew out of the log into the sky and formed the Milky Way. Well, hello there. So you like stories, do you? Excellent. You have come to the right place. Well, hello there. So you like stories, do you? Excellent. I have a story I'd like to tell you. It is a tale of tales. Well, come along then. This tale of tales I'm about to share with you is taken from a chapter in the children's book, Adventures of the Wild, Wild Wolf. It is a story that was written by my wife, Tanya Gerard, who's from Australia. Our characters in this tale of tales consist of animals that were once a part of our family. Young Kinnipock, a full-blooded wolf pup. Zoe, a wise and older half-wolf, half-dog. Ushmal, Zoe's partner, a giant bear of a dog with a heart of gold. And Billy Bob, a notoriously ferocious cat with a long list of dogs, coyotes, and wolves he's defeated in battle. The narrator of our tale of tales is Kinnipock. This story takes place from her perspective. One sunny day, about a half-moon cycle after my arrival, I was sleeping under a tree when Zoe came to me with a brilliant and inspiring idea. Kinnipock, there's this cat next door I think you should meet. His name is Billy Bob, and he has a fierce reputation. He's extremely egotistical, and it's time for him to learn about you, the future leader of our neighborhood. I think you're strong enough and wise enough to take him down. Really? I responded, excited that Zoe had finally come around and was seeing me for who I was. Oh, I'd love to, but do you think I'm old enough yet? Of course you are. Look how much you've grown. At this point in our lives, Ushmal and I are too old to challenge the cat. I think he needs to learn and be taught a lesson by a capable young alpha wolf, such as yourself. Each day, Billy Bob lays on a fallen log by the wall of his house, enjoying the late afternoon sun, Zoe said, while pointing her nose past some juniper trees near the neighbor's house. She continued, stay here until you see the sun touch the very top tip of the juniper tree closest to us. When it does, come find me, and I will take you to him. I didn't question why Zoe was suddenly so friendly, nor why this was the most she'd spoken to me since my arrival. I was just excited that she had finally acknowledged me. For the rest of the day, I sat waiting. I dared not move from my position because I didn't want to miss the opportunity when the sun hit the tip top of the tree and the opportunity to meet my new rival, Billy Bob. After some time had passed, Ushmal trotted up to me. Kinnipock, have you seen Zoe? Yes. No, not lately, I responded. Huh? Said Ushmal. He turned to leave, but hesitated. Why are you sitting here? He asked me, sounding a bit confused. I'm waiting for the afternoon sun to touch that tree over there, I responded, pointing my nose toward the juniper tree. Oh, I see, said Ushmal. He was silent for a moment as he thought about my answer. So, why would you be doing that, little Kinnipock? He asked again. Then it all came out. Words rolled into words as I stuttered and sputtered and splittered and puttered, telling Ushmal about Zoe's offer. Slow down, Kinapak. Slow way, way down, Ushmal responded. Now, tell me again, but this time, speak clearly. Well, I began. Zoe told me that she now believes in my abilities and is ready to give me the status I deserve. She said there's a cat next door named Billy Bob and that he needs to be taught a lesson about who the new boss is around here, and she wants me to take him down. Ushmal nodded. I see. He left me without saying another word and continued to look for Zoe. Later, Ushmal told me about the conversation he and Zoe had. He found her laying on the deck in the shade, protecting herself from the midday sun, when he marched right up to her. Zoe, how could you? Ushmal said. How could you set Kinapak up with Billy Bob? You know there's no way that pup can defend herself against him, let alone defeat him. There's never been a dog, coyote, or a wolf who could tackle that cat. He's tough. He's mean. He's the scratching machine. You and I are covered with scars from our encounters with Billy Bob. That cat is a beast. He's the king of all felines. He's a walking, living demon. According to Ushmal, Zoe just laughed, giving him her famous saucy grin and exposing her side teeth. It's time the little wolf's taught a lesson about her limits. Besides, no one has challenged Billy Bob for quite a while, and he needs to keep his skills in shape. The sun finally dipped in the sky, and the last ray of sunlight reached the top tip of the juniper tree. Excited, I rushed off to find the old wolf. Zoe, take me to Billy Bob. I yipped and I howled. I found Zoe and Ushmal sitting together on the deck. At the sound of my voice, they got to their paws and shook themselves off. It's time, I said, with a nod of the head, a brush of the tail, and a tap of the paw. The sun finally touched the top tip of the tree. Zoe and Ushmal joined me, and the three of us headed west, through the trees and toward the neighbor's house. When you approach Billy Bob, don't hesitate, Zoe advised. Go straight for the neck. I ran back and forth, zigzagging between Zoe and Ushmal, practicing my cat attack on passing tree trunks. I noticed Ushmal raise an eyebrow at Zoe, while Zoe grinned her mischievous smile back at him. But I didn't think much of it at the time. We stalked over to the eastern wall of the neighbor's house, making sure that the gentle breeze was blowing in the opposite direction, carrying our scent away from the sleeping cat. Billy Bob is around the corner of this wall, said Zoe. Are you ready for the showdown, you wild, wild wolf, you? Oh, yes, I responded as I did a little wolf hunting dance. I then peeked around the corner to look at my rivalry. Billy Bob laid stretched out on a fallen tree and looked as if he was enjoying the afternoon sunbath. He lazily stretched his paws and extended his long claws into the log to sharpen them for our possible encounter. He yawned, rolled his head from side to side, then opened his narrow-slit eyes wide. His eyes were jade green and burned with such enthusiasm for our encounter that for a second it shattered my confidence. He seemed keenly aware of me, his new neighbor with the long bushy tail and golden eyes, and he appeared a bit too eager for our formal introduction. Much later, I discovered that Billy Bob was proud of his record and reputation. He had a long list of dogs, coyotes, and wolves he'd defeated in battle. He was a warrior, not like some of the pussies in the neighborhood that have never left the house or ventured outside the kitty litter box. He was his own man, accountable to no one. I prepared myself for the encounter. Cover your face when confronting Billy Bob and run away if you need to, advised Ushmal. Stand your ground and fight. You're a big, tough wolf. Nothing can take you down, Zoe encouraged. Listening to Zoe's encouragement, I worked myself into what I thought was a wild wolf frenzy. Nothing and nobody can stop me were the words that ran through my head. Zoe lifted her paw and urged me forward, and I launched into a mad charge, running full speed toward the other side of the wall, my mouth open wide, teeth and fangs sticking out. I was ready to take that black cat down. Billy Bob didn't move. He lay motionless with closed eyes until I was halfway across the path. In a flash, Billy Bob leaped to his feet, front paws clawing through the air at lightning speed. With a crazed look in his eyes, he had a smirk on his face as if he enjoyed the terror that he invoked. It was too late for me to retreat. Before I had time to think or realize the horrific situation I was in, Billy Bob had given me multiple wounds. Meow! Meow! He called out as his right claw and his left claw hooked into my nose and slid down to my lip, wounding me deeply. He then spun himself in the air and cut both of my ears before landing on his feet. He was unstoppable. His sharp claws penetrated my fur, scratching my body from head to tail, howling from pain, shock, and fear. I ran as fast as I possibly could from the scene of my defeat, with my tail between my legs. Zoe and Ushmal took off after me, desperately trying to keep up with my pace. I ran to the rhythm of my feet beneath me. I ran until I could take not another step and collapsed to the ground. Suffering from flesh wounds and feeling immensely sorry for myself, I lay there, unable to speak or to move. Zoe and Ushmal finally caught up. Their tongues were hanging out the sides of their mouth as they dropped to the earth, panting. "Oh, my legs and my aching back," said Zoe. "Oh, my poor feet, I haven't run like this in years," complained Ushmal. Under normal circumstances, it would have been funny listening to the two oldies grumble and moan, but this was not a moment of humor. We lay there, panting for a good while before anyone said a word. Finally, Zoe broke the silence. "I'm sorry, Keenapuck. I knew you wouldn't be able to take Billy Bob down, and I set you up for a failed encounter. Billy Bob is a monster." Finally, "Why would you do that?" I asked, feeling hurt and a little bit annoyed. "Well, Keenapuck, let's not forget your part in this story. You've been cocky, self-important, and super annoying over the past few weeks, and I, probably was a little possessive of my terrain." "Maybe we should start again," she said, and paused for a moment. "If you allow us, we could make it up to you. Ushmal and I can train you." "Really?" I responded. "What would you teach me?" "Well, we can show you the way of the wolf and how to work together as a pack," Zoe said. "Skills that you would have learned had you remained with your parents. We can instruct you on how to maintain your freedom as you maneuver through the world of humans. We may be old, but our minds are sharp, and we have at least a few tips and tricks that are worth knowing. That is, if Ushmal is up to the task." "Are you kidding?" "Absolutely," responded Ushmal. "Even if you offered me the meatiest, largest buffalo bone as a bribe not to do it, I wouldn't take it. I wouldn't miss the opportunity to teach little Keenapuck for anything." After a few laughs, shared stories, and reenactments from Ushmal, who mimicked how large my eyes were when I first encountered Billy Bob's flying claws, the three of us formed a strong bond that day. On our way home, we passed Billy Bob sleeping on his log. The cat opened his eyes halfway, stretched his claws out, and slowly sharpened them on the wood in what appeared to be an unmistakable message to us three canines as we walked home in the twilight. I vowed to myself that this would not be my last encounter with that cat. It was just a matter of time before I would be large enough to defeat him. Let's get back to these didgeridoos. Now, I've got about 6 didgeridoos on the rack here from Australia. Traditional didgeridoos in Australia are usually made from a variety of eucalyptus tree trunks that have been hollowed out by termites or white ants. The termites eat all the way through the center of the tree. How cool is that? Now, the mouthpiece of a traditional didgeridoo is made of organic beeswax. Bees make wax. Bees pollinate trees. Bees pollinate plants. We need trees. We eat plants. We need bees. They are good. An Aboriginal person will go out in the Australian bush and look for a eucalyptus tree trunk or a branch, and they'll tap on it to hear if the termites have hollowed it out. If it sounds good, they'll cut it down, and then when they're ready to paint it, they'll peel off the bark, like you see these light-colored sections there. That's where the bark's been peeled off, and they'll take these earth pigments that are called ochres, and they will grind them between a couple of stones, and then they'll be left with this, like, it's kind of a powdery-like substance, and if they want to add colors, they might use a bit of plant dyes, and they'll take that with the ochre and mix all of that up, and then they'll use a reed brush, and that is how they get the paints to paint their didgeridoos, their bark paintings. That bark came from the tree. Face paintings, body painting. Those are really cool face paints. And they'll use the didgeridoo in these ceremonies or celebrations they call corroborees, where they sing and they dance. They tell stories of their ancestors and stories of what they call the dream time. Now, in order to make a sound on a didgeridoo, you've got to loosely buzz your lips like this. Give it a go. All right. Yeah, that's not too bad. I bet you guys, you want to know the main mistake that people make when they first try and play a didgeridoo? They try and play it tight, like it is a trumpet or a horn. But trust me, if you blast into it like that, it does not sound right. That sounds very wrong. That's called too much chipotle. Now, many of the sounds I'm making, they might sound like random noises, but they often represent the sounds of nature and animals. This sound represents heat rising on a hot summer's day in the outback of Australia. This is the sound of an Australian marsupial that likes to hop. The kangaroo. The dingo dog, the wild dog of Australia. He or she sounds like this. Now, if you go near the Mama Dingo's puppy den, do you think she's going to be happy? No, she's going to sound more like this. Right. Oh, you guys, you're going to like this next sound. It's the sound of whales. It's very relaxing and meditative sound. So for this one, I want everyone to take in a deep breath. Breathe in all that peace, love, and happiness. Oh, that feels great. Let's just stay there. Okay, exhale. Now listen for the whales calling out to you. Did you hear whales? I'm going to take the one yes on that one. Oh, here's something you may have noticed. Now, did you notice that when I'm playing the didgeridoo, that I don't take my mouth away from the instrument to take in a breath? Did you notice that? Well, this is called circular breathing. So, what I'm doing is I'm loosely buzzing my lips, buzzing out of my lips like this. And then I breathe in through my nose at the same time. So here's a fun physical challenge for all of you. See if you can buzz air out of your lips and breathe in through your nose at the same time. First one to pass out gets a prize. All right, okay. That's enough time. Can anyone do it? Okay, good. A couple of you can. Okay. Now, the rest of you, would you like to know the secret to circular breathing? Okay. Now, actually, before I tell you, if we have any horn players in the audience, anybody who plays trumpet, tuba, trombone, or like saxophone and clarinet, you're going to especially be interested in this because you can totally circular breathe on those instruments. So, depending on what instrument that you're playing, you would do the embouchure of that instrument. Now, for you kids who do not know what that word embouchure means, it means like the way you're holding your mouth or the way you're buzzing your lips. So, for example, if you were playing a trumpet, you would do the embouchure of a trumpet. Now, if you're playing a didgeridoo, you're going to loosely buzz your lips like. And when you're ready to take a breath, this is the key. You fill your cheeks up really big, full of air. And then you slowly push that air out while you quickly breathe in through your nose at the same time. So everyone try this. Fill your cheeks as big as you can full of air. Now use your fingers to slowly push the air out while you quickly breathe in through your nose at the same time. So if you were blowing air on your hand like this, there'd be a constant stream of air hitting your hand. So try it again. Fill your cheeks up really big full of air. Now use your fingers to slowly push the air out. Breathe in through the nose. Now who can do it? Excellent, excellent. For the rest of you, keep on practicing. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is circular breathing. Not only are the Aboriginal people known all around the world for their amazing music on the didgeridoo, but they are also known for their extraordinary artwork. And I've got some right here. Check it out, guys. Here we've got some kangaroos that are hopping by that big rock in the middle of Australia. Everybody calls Ayers Rock. The Aboriginal people call that Uluru. Can you say Uluru? And over here, we've got some animals or creatures on a magical journey or migration. Speaking of animals, here we've got the kookaburra bird that makes this wild sound. And over here, we've got the Tasmanian devil. Oh, actually, do you like animals? Excellent. I have a huge surprise for you. I'm going to show you some animals which are indigenous or native to Australia. Now, before I do, I must ask, is there anyone watching me who's afraid of animals? Because I must warn you, if anything crawls or slithers out of this bag, I'll need to get to all of you out of the way as quickly as possible. There's your nearest exit. Now, if you stay seated and you are totally silent, it should be okay. It should be okay. just a kangaroo and his baby Johnny. It's so cute. Now, a kangaroo is a mammal, but it's also a marsupial. Can you say marsupial? Now, a marsupial is a mammal which the females have pouches to carry their young. There are more than 40 varieties of kangaroos in Australia, including the red kangaroo. Now, you may have heard of the red kangaroo because they can grow as tall as a man and clear a 9-foot fence with one leap. This next creature is another marsupial from Australia. Now, it might look like a fat hamster or your little brother or sister, but it's a wombat. Now, it's true that the wombat is a marsupial, but unlike the kangaroo, whose pouch is to the front, the wombat's pouch is to the back. No, it's brilliant, guys. I'll tell you why. That's because Mama Wombat spends a lot of time digging in the ground with her sharp claws. She doesn't want to get dirt in her baby's face. I told you it was brilliant. Now, this next creature, it's got a fearsome reputation. Is it? Why, it's the Tasmanian devil. Oh, Taz. You know what, guys? Luckily for us, good old Taz, he won't mess with humans. But if he sees a wombat,
Bad news for the wombat.
and here we've got our third consecutive marsupial. It's me, pet posse Sasquatch. Can you say, "G'day, Sasquatch"? Now, did you notice that my pet Ringtail Possum Sasquatch has not moved the entire show? That's because Ringtail Possums are nocturnal. Now, nocturnal means awake all night, partying in the trees, sleep all day, living off our tax dollars. Get a job. Oh, we all love the koala. But did you know that koalas sleep up to 20 hours a day? It's true. They wake just enough time to eat some eucalyptuses, and they go right back to sleep. You know, this guy may be cute. You're definitely cute, mate. But I say a slacker. And this is the second largest bird in the world, the emu. The emu is so big that we can't even fly. Oh, and you remember the kookaburra bird makes the sound. I need you guys to flap your wings, make that sound. Flap your wings, flap your wings. There are lots of lizards and reptiles in Australia. This is the frilled neck lizard or the frilled dragon. Sometimes he puffs his size head out and he acts big and bad like a bully. But when he's afraid, he runs away. Whee! Oh, I've got no idea what that is. Out of here, mate. Oh, and you do know where there's lots of lizards, there's usually lots of snakes! Now, there are more than 100 species of snakes in Australia, including 10 of the deadliest on Earth. So deadly, like if you guys was out in the Australian bush and you just walking along, dun, 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 and you happen to tread on the tail of one of those snakes and it turns around and bites you, that's it, mate. It's over. Oh, this guy, so cute. No,
I like snakes. Uh-oh. This one is a python.
this one makes me really sad. This is the Tasmanian Tiger, or thylacine. Unfortunately, we're never going to see this animal alive again because it is extinct. And for those of you that don't know, extinct means gone forever, never coming back. But there's a lot we can learn from the story of the Tasmanian tiger. So let me tell y'all what happened. There were once thousands of these beautiful creatures in Australia, but they were wiped out because of human hunting. By 1930, we got down to just one lonely Tasmanian tiger left on the entire earth. And it spent the last 6 years of its life pacing back and forth on a cold concrete cage in a zoo. And that's where it died all alone, the last of its species. You see, as humans, we have the potential to do terrible or wonderful things on our beautiful earth. I actually think it's way cooler to protect animals in nature rather than destroy them. And not only was he or she an amazingly beautiful creature, it was a marsupial. It was a tiger with a pouch to carry its babies, just like the kangaroo. Sorry, mate. Wish we could have saved you. Oh, but fortunately, this next creature can still be found in Australia. Now, you might call him Perry, but I call him Mr. Freakazoid. Can you guys say, "G'day, Mr. Freakazoid"? Well said, mates. Well said. Now, if you've been paying attention to my show, then you would know that Mr. Freakazoid is a compliment, and here's why. Check it out. It's totally cool to be different. As long as you're kind, respectful, and nonviolent, be as different as you want to be. And if you need the inspiration, mates, look no further than the platypus. The platypus is a worldwide icon because it's so unique. Check it out. They've got the tail of a beaver, the bill and web feet of a duck. They walk like a lizard. And they've got waterproof fur like a seal. Now the males, they've got venomous spurs on their hind legs. In America, they come with information tags. But even stranger than that, the platypus is an egg-laying mammal. An egg-laying mammal is known as this big giant word, monotreme. Can you say monotreme? Now, there are only 3 egg-laying mammals in the entire world, and they're all in Australia. 2 are from the echidna family. This guy lays eggs. And the third one is the platypus. Okay, just to put this into context, I've got a trick question for you kids. Are we mammals? Yes, we are mammals. We have hair, we have a spine, we breastfeed our babies. We are part of the mammal family. Now, do we lay eggs? Do your parents lay eggs? Okay. Teachers can be a strange lot. Do your teachers lay eggs? Okay. A dog is a mammal. Did anybody's dog lay an egg for breakfast this morning? You see how strange it is to be an egg-laying mammal? It is very strange indeed. Last, but definitely not least, is the most famous reptile in all Australia. Now, I've not even enough room in this forest to show you. They can grow more than 20 feet long. They've got a mouth full of razor-sharp teeth. They can run faster than a man or woman and climb a tree. It's the Australian saltwater crocodile. Now, I do encourage y'all, visit Australia, mates. Visit Australia. But if you do, just be sure you look over your right shoulder and over your left shoulder, because if Crocodile's not at your front door, he may be around the back. Oh, do you know what to do if a crocodile chases you? You run zigzag, because they have a hard time turning. But if it doesn't work, don't blame me. All right, I've made a really big mess here, so I'm going to give y'all a challenge while I quickly clean up and beat you. Can you say under, down, didgeridoo 10 times in a row as fast as you can? Go! Did I win? Did you cheat? All right. Next time I'll make you say it 20 times. All right, guys, we are coming to the grand finale of the show, which is super fun. But for the next 7 seconds, this is serious business. So check it out. Because, you know, if those are real animals, there's no way I'd have thrown a real koala over my shoulder, because I try and treat all animals, the environment, and the entire earth with respect. So what I want you kids to do is I want you to reduce, reuse, and recycle as much as you can, because we all got to do our part to help protect our planet, because it's the only one we've got. Oh, and one of my favorite ways of reusing is this cardboard tube. You guys see this cardboard tube? Well, this cardboard tube is also a didgeridoo. Now, I got this cardboard tube at Joanne's fabric store. Now, for all you kids, teens, tweens, and young adults, if you ask them for this, they will probably give it to you for free. Now, for you librarians, teachers, and adults like me, they will charge you $1. And then what you guys do, kids, is just ask mom and dad if they've got a bit of painter's tape, and you put some painter's tape around the mouthpiece. And speaking of painter's tape, you could paint the didgeridoo. You could paint it with fairies, goblins, or dragons. A dragon didgeridoo. Yes. And then how you're going to play that is like I showed you earlier during the show. You're going to loosely buzz your lips like right into the end of the cardboard tube. Do you guys want to help protect your planet? All right. Then in your broadest superhero voice, can you say, protect the planet? Protect the planet. All right. We arrived at the time of the show, and I've got a very important question I'd like to ask you. Are you ready to get silly?
I didn't hear you.
I definitely heard you that time. All right, guys. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to tell a story through the didgeridoo and speaking. Now, you and your parents and the librarians are going to act out the story in the silliest, most over-dramatic way possible.
Can you do this?
Can you do this? All right. Then everyone stand up and let's get started. It all starts on a hot summer's day in the outback of Australia. The sun, it all starts on a hot summer's day in the outback of Australia. The sun, it's overhead, baking the earth. It's so hot, we're melting into the ground. Everybody melt. Wait, look, over there, off in the distance, there's some animals that are hopping. Everyone hop like a kangaroo. Go, kangaroos! Look, over there, it's a pack of dingoes, the wild dogs of Australia. You guys know that dingoes don't stand on their hind feet like Scooby-Doo. It's time to get on our knees and howl like a dingo. Chase your tails in a circle. Chase your tails. Suddenly, the kangaroos see some animals they've not seen in Australia before. It's a herd of elephants. Everybody raise your trunks in the air. Whoa! Look what's on the back of the elephants. There are some other animals that do not belong in Australia. I think you can log this one. A pack of all monkeys! I want to see the monkeys! Oh, the kangaroos, they're really freaked out. They've never seen elephants or monkeys in the outback of Australia before. So with one final burst of energy, these kangaroos are going to hop faster and higher than number 4. Everybody up! Oh, finally, the kangaroos are all alone. But guess what? They slipped into a black hole and went through a time warp. So in slow motion. They're gonna hop like kangaroos. But it's so heavy in this dimension. They went through a hyperdimension super fast! They went through another time warp. So in slow motion, they're gonna hop back to their seats and sit down under the shade of the cosmic eucalyptus tree. You guys are awesome. And if you had a good time today, say didgeridoo. All right. All you kids out there, I want you to wash your hands as frequently as you can. And if you must cough or sneeze, do it into your shoulder. Protect your community members, protect yourself, and protect your family. Now, until we meet again.
May the Force be with you.
All right, guys. And super quick, I just wanted, before we go to the question and answers, I just want all of you to know that if you'd like to read further on that book that I was reading from, The Adventures of the Wild Wild Wolf, you can go to my wife's website right there, and you can get the book there, or you can also go to Amazon.com. And after that, the last thing I will say is also, I'm going to go here now, back through the space there. And I also want to let you guys know that my mates and I at Didgeridoo Down Under, this is our website there. We've made lots of new programs, both in person and virtual. All of our virtual are super immersive, like the one that I'm in here. And we've done really cool stuff, and we'd love to see you guys there. And with that, if you have any questions, I might have an answer or two. And I hope you enjoyed the show.
Wow, that was so much fun. Thank you so much, Mr. Rob. We had an amazing time today. Guys, we thank you so much for joining us. And remember, we're going to be here every Tuesday at 2 o'clock with a lot more fun live events, okay? And next Tuesday, we will have the Kumba Kids. So please remember to register and join in the fun, okay? And to learn about more upcoming events, you can go to ocls.info/SRP, okay? And don't forget to track your reading minutes, and don't forget to add them to Beanstack, and don't forget to come in and get your goodie bags on July 1st. And don't forget to finish reading up all of your 600 minutes, because we have some amazing things for you, okay? And then, if you have time, guys, we would love to get your feedback. We want to make all of our programs wonderful for you, so please complete our survey, okay? All right. Well, we want to also thank the Window World of Central Florida for sponsoring our summer reading program. And we thank you for joining us today, okay? We will see you next week. And for the rest of summer, have a wonderful day, everybody. Goodbye.
Introducing Orange County Library System's Summer Reading Program. Get ready to join the Summer Reading Challenge. Here's what to do. Find great books on our summer reading book lists. Read at least 20 minutes every day. Sign up for Beanstack and log your minutes online. Complete fun challenges in Beanstack to earn badges. You can also log your minutes using the paper reading tracker. Complete the challenge by July 31st for your chance to win awesome grand prizes like bicycles, laptops, science kits, games, art sets, scooters, and more. Grand prizes generously brought to you by Window World of Central Florida. Visit ocls.info/SOP or call 407-835-7323.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to be the first to find out when we have new fun and informative videos for you. Orange County Library System is your place to learn, grow, connect.